Hey everyone, welcome back to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. And on today's video, I want to talk about something that I literally just learned existed a couple of days ago, and that is the World Video Game Hall of Fame. I did not realize that there was a Hall of Fame for video games, but there is, and it's being hosted by a place called the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. Now, it looks like ever since about 2015, they have been inducting anywhere from 3 to 5 different video games into their Hall of Fame every year. All right. And it's an exhibit that they have at this museum in Rochester, New York. Now, for those of you who've watched my videos before, I have mentioned the fact that I do live in New York. So this is something that I definitely want to check out one day and maybe do a video on. Problem is, it's not exactly around the corner for me. I know, people, especially if you're not in the tri-state area or, on the East Coast, anywhere, near where I am, forget how big New York actually is. New York is a heck of a lot more than just New York City, all right? And Rochester is way up at the top of New York. It's near Lake Ontario. It's not far from Buffalo and Niagara Falls. It's really close to the Canadian border, actually. And it's about a 5-hour drive for me to get up to that area. So this is like a weekend trip. I'd have to probably get a hotel and go up there and go check this place out. So it's now become on my bucket list. It's definitely a place that I want to check out, but don't expect a video about it anytime soon. All right, it's going to take some planning for me to plan a weekend and get up there and check it out. But since I just learned this existed, and since they just announced their inductees for this year, I thought I'd make a quick video on it and just let you guys know that, hey, this thing exists. So let's go to their website so we can talk about it a little bit more. So if you want to learn more about the Video Game Hall of Fame, you can go to their website, which is museumofplay.org. And this is a museum called The Strong, like I said, in Rochester, New York. And they actually have several exhibits here, one of which is the World Video Game Hall of Fame. They also have apparently they also have a National Toy Hall of Fame. They have Play Lab, Butterfly Garden, Carousel of Trains. So they have a bunch of different exhibits that look really cool. But I really just want to focus, being the nature of this channel, on the World Video Game Hall of Fames. Okay, so this is their page on the World Video Game Hall of Fame. And this is what they have to say. So, the World Video Game Hall of Fame at the Strong recognizes electronic games of all types that have enjoyed popularity over a sustained period and have exerted influence on the video game industry or on popular culture and society in general. So, guys, I'm going to kind of get into that a little bit because I'm not 100% sure what the criteria is for the inductees that they do. But let's look at the games that were inducted this year. And the games that got inducted this year were Dance Dance Revolution, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Ms. Pac-Man, and Sid Meier's Civilization. Now, it's hard to deny the influence of all 4 of these games, for sure. All 4 have been highly influential. You look at a game like Dance Dance Revolution, and just revolutionized music games as a genre of video game. Obviously highly popular, not just in arcades, but in the home space. And it's funny that the picture they have here is a PlayStation version of it, not the arcade version. Although I would guess perhaps that at the museum they actually have an arcade version of it that you can check out. But the whole play mechanic of the dance platform or the dance mat and playing to the beat of music was really influential when that game first came out, and was really very popular in arcades for a very long time. I'd say in some respects actually brought arcades back because so many people were so interested in playing that game. Really kind of kept arcades alive for a while when it was first introduced. And like I said, just really influenced a whole genre of music games. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I mean, I don't know what else you could say about that game. When that arrived on the N64, it was hugely popular. Definitely had a huge impact on not just Zelda games going forward, but action RPGs in general, being the first 3D Zelda game, and arguably to this day the best Zelda game ever released. I know Breath of the Wild is an amazing game, and you can definitely make the case that Breath of the Wild is the best Zelda game. But if you check any top list of Zelda titles, Ocarina is either number one or number two. Some lists may have Breath of the Wild overtake it, but you cannot deny, obviously, the influence of Ocarina of Time. Ms. Pac-Man, again, is an obvious choice on the influence of that, having taken a game as widely popular as Pac-Man and just up the ante on it in some ways, and just it became a much better game. And of course the whole history behind that game of how it started, and of course where we are with it today, with the issues over licensing of Ms. Pac-Man. I mean, being as popular as it is, so many people vying for the license of it that the license itself has become a controversy. And last but not least is Sid Meier's Civilization, and again, hugely influential when it came out in 1980. Really started this whole genre of strategy games, kind of god level games where you control, the influence of a society, basically, and help it grow and change, and just again started a whole genre of games that to this day is still hugely popular. So those are the 4 games that they chose to induct this year. Now, what games didn't make the cut? I don't believe it's on here, but apparently other games that were nominated that weren't inducted this year include Assassin's Creed, Candy Crush Saga, Minesweeper, NBA Jam, Parappa the Rapper, Resident Evil, Rogue, and Words with Friends. So that actually brings up an interesting point. And again, I can't really find anything on here. Maybe, somebody knows a little bit more about this Video Game Hall of Fame and can say something in the comments. But the criteria really just seems to be games that were influential, games that, what did they say? Had an influence on video game industry or on popular culture and society in general. Enjoyed popularity over a sustained period. And, when I think of sustained period, I'm not sure that Candy Crush Saga or Words with Friends falls into that category. Maybe Candy Crush. I mean, Candy Crush has been around for a number of years. Words with Friends feels like it's too new to me, although it obviously was very influential for what the type of game that it is. But maybe that's one of the reasons why it didn't make it in yet, is because it hasn't been around for that long. So I'm not totally sure what they use as a criteria, and yeah, we could make the comparisons to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for sure. They have obvious criteria in terms of like how long a band or a musician has been on the scene, and different things. We can argue about, should certain groups be considered part of a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a whole nother issue, and why others haven't been put in. This is not a music channel, although I'm a huge music fan. Love classic rock, hard rock, heavy metal. That's my jam, and unfortunately that stuff gets snubbed a lot by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I have my issues with that. I hope I won't have the same issues with the Video Game Hall of Fame going forward, although, video games obviously encompasses, a wide spectrum. So, not like rock and roll, where rock and roll is a particular genre of music, yet, you have a lot of groups and individuals in there that I wouldn't consider rock. But again, I'm getting off topic here. I don't want to turn this into a debate on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm just making a comparison to Video Game Hall of Fame. So those are the games that were inducted this year. Those are the nominees that didn't make it in, which who knows, over the next couple of years maybe make it in. But let me just take one last look, because again, this is all new to me. So I don't know what other games are actually in the Video Game Hall of Fame from the last few years. So let's see what games are actually in there right now. So since 2015, they have inducted 36 games into the Video Game Hall of Fame. And let's just take a few minutes and let's just go through them. I want to go through them by year and just show you guys what games they have inducted. There's 36 of them, so I'm not going to talk about each one like I did about this year's inductees, but I just want to show them off to you guys who, like me, this is brand new and you didn't even know a Video Game Hall of Fame existed. But, you know, you can see which games they have inducted so far. And the first year, 2015, they inducted the following 6 games into the Hall of Fame: Tetris, Super Mario Brothers, Pac-Man, World of Warcraft, Doom, and Pong. And I think there's no debate that all of those obviously deserve to be in a Video Game Hall of Fame. In 2016, they inducted another 6, and that would be Grand Theft Auto 3, Oregon Trail, the original Legend of Zelda, The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Space Invaders. So again, obviously, you know, this ranges, you know, from arcade games to computer games to console games. So anything video game related is, you know, obviously up for grabs. And in 2017, we got 4 more: the original Halo, Street Fighter 2, Donkey Kong, and Pokemon Red and Green. In 2018 was Tomb Raider, Space War, probably the first video game really ever created, John Madden Football, and Final Fantasy VII. 2019 saw Super Mario Kart, Mortal Kombat, Solitaire, and Colossal Cave Adventure get inducted. That is interesting, Colossal Cave Adventure. For those of you who don't know, by the way, the founders of Sierra, Ken and Roberta Williams, who, you know, are really no longer a part of that company and have kind of been out of the game making for a while now, came out of retirement during the pandemic here, and they're actually doing a 3D VR remake of Colossal Cave Adventure, and it looks super cool. So that's definitely something to check out. So it was interesting to see that on the Video Game Hall of Fame. In 2020, they inducted another 4: Minecraft, King's Quest, Centipede, and Bejeweled. And finally, last year, we got 4 more. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? StarCraft, Microsoft's Flight Simulator, and Animal Crossing. So there you go. Pretty eclectic range of different types of games that they have inducted for sure. And like I said, this was something that I just found out existed. Sounds like a really cool place. Definitely want to check it out one day. But as in, if you're a lover of video games, especially old school video games like I am, you know, this is definitely something to check out. Again, museumofplay.org is the website that hosts the World Video Game Hall of Fame. It's the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York. So listen, if you're up that way, or, you know, if you're ever in that area for some reason, check it out. It looks like a really cool place. Looks like a lot of fun. Like I said, hopefully one of these days I will make a trip up there and maybe make a video on it. But yeah, apparently there is a Video Game Hall of Fame, and every year they induct new games. And this year, again, we got Ms. Pac-Man, Ocarina of Time, Dance Dance Revolution, and Sid Meier's Civilization. So 4 games that I would say are probably worthy of a Hall of Fame for sure. So that's it. Just wanted to put that out there to you guys in case you didn't know something like this existed. Now you do. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you are subscribed to the channel, again, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to click that subscription button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put a new video out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to share it around, feel free. That's okay too. But that's it for this time, and I will see you again real soon. So, have a great day.